Hello, 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 and welcome to Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday, that was it. I'm here, you're there, it's Tuesday. It must be Tuesday. We're doing all this nonsense again. Oh, and Andrew's he's out of trap one. He's already there, and Zeb's in too. Everybody's in. I've got to get used to they've gone back to using the ampersand and then your name. So if I get your name a bit garbled, I've got to get used to this, because they used to just spell your name properly, you know, like what you typed it in, and now they've gone back to doing the ampersands and in the numbers and things. Stye's in, he says. Even Andrew's freezing cold. We had the lurgy here. Yeah, I had the lurgy. I'm not feeling. I'm just not feeling it. I felt alright yesterday, and I feel like it's coming round again for a second go. I mean, it's not been bad. I just feel really tired. I just feel really tired. More tired than usual. More cheesed off than usual. So yeah, that's it really. Not much else to say. I hope everyone's doing alright wherever they are. But yeah, I was watching I'm a Celebrity, so that's why we're a little bit late, because I don't have choice. They watch there, and I'm here, so I've got to wait for them to stop watching before I can. Because you know, that's what happens when you have to live with people. Seb says, just watch some of your 90s Yes reviews. Have you played Open Your Eyes for a third time? No, it's all lies. I'll tell you what I did listen to, purely by accident, because you know, sometimes I like to sometimes put a little bit of music on when I'm, you know, having my ablutions, you know, having a shower and whatnot. And they said, new release, yes, Return Flight, you know, the Fly From Here, Return Flight. I listened to it. They put the instrumental mix up. So I listened to the entire instrumental mix of Fly From Here by that there Yes, which is all right, I suppose. It's good because I got to sing over it. So, you know, they might as well release my version, seeing as they've got rid of Benoit David's version out of history, and now they've kind of erased Trevor Horn, so they could have my version, as I'm lathering my balls in the shower. You know, you can fly from here up into the atmosphere. I can't remember how the words go, but something like that. Am I better? No, I'm still just the same horrible, miserable Darren Lock I've always been. So, you know. Well, again, it was something that everyone's had. Everyone's had like the sneezes, and you know, I just felt a bit crap. I can't remember what it was now. It was at the weekend. Was it Saturday or Sunday? I think it was one of those two. Sunday. I think it was Sunday. And but I felt alright. It was just like a day cold sort of thing, runny nose. But now I just feel really tired and got a little bit of a tickle, you know. But I'm sure it'll pass. You know, these things do, don't they? Thank you for asking. Andrew says Tom Stoppard's gone. I don't know much about him. He was a playwright. He wrote loads of different plays and whatnot. He was intellectual, you know. Didn't he write something about Pink Floyd recently or something? Or did I dream that? Payne's in, or Ye Robert, as I've got to start calling him, because they've changed all the names. He's in. Zeb says the return trip was meh. They edited weirdly. The original album is probably their last good album. I totally agree. I totally agree with you there. Fond memories of it when that was released, and then I saw the tour with Benoit David, and it was quite good. It was quite a good evening. You know, there was no, you know, trying to be John Anderson. He was a different kind of energy, and you know, it was a fun gig at the Hammersmith Odeon, a venue that I'm not particularly a fan of, but yeah, it was what it is. When tickets were still cheap, or relatively cheap, i.e., you know, me and the missus could go out see a gig for, well, under £80, I think it was. Yeah, which wasn't bad in those days. Andrew says, I think you dreamt that one about Pink Floyd. No, I'm sure Tom Stoppard wrote something about Pink Floyd. I'm sure of it. Here you go, Dark Side radio play, a 2013 philosophical comedy radio drama written about Tom Stoppard. based on the themes of Pink Floyd's 1973 progressive rock album Dark Side, or The Dark Side of the Moon. See, I was right. You think I'm full of bullshit? I am, but I also know things. It's what I'm here for. See, there you go. Starred Amaka Okafor, Iwan Rion. Oh, he was from Game of Thrones, wasn't he? Bill Nye, Rufus Sewell, Adrian Scarborough, among others. And that was out on the 2013. Obviously to celebrate the anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon. Back in there. See? I know things. Stray says, Seb, are you suggesting that Steve Howe's first lead vocal on a Yes album was not a complete triumph? Hey, look, some of us have heard him sing on his own albums. Beginnings. Australia. I'm still getting over that. I'm still under the doctor after hearing that one. Zeb says Steve Howe lead vocals. I guess I missed that. Yeah, he's on one of the tracks, isn't he? And Andrew says I'll check it out. Damn straight you will. Zeb says, "Oh, you're getting that Wish You Were Here 50th one? What, the box set? Hell no. No, what we're doing. Again, I haven't actually. What I pre-ordered purely for visual laughs and unboxing potential is I've ordered a fluid-filled vinyl of Dark Side, not Dark Side. Wish You Were Here. Get the right album, Darren. See, tell my heart's not in it. They've done this fluid-filled one. We talked about it on a live stream. I think I ordered it on the live stream, and I don't know. It hasn't been sent to me yet, but you never know. It might happen. It might happen. He said it might come in time. But there's the Blu-rays, isn't there? I was looking at the Blu-ray. Is that still? That's the December the 12th. Is that coming out? I thought it was December the 4th. Why am I thinking December the 4th? But you got the Blu-rays, which is probably the best bet in terms of value. But I'm loathed. I tell you, loathed to give them my money because it's not the band that gets it. It's who's it? Sony? Is it Sony that owns them now? I can't remember. But you do it because Sony. You do it because people say you're going to do it. You're going to do the thing. You're going to do the thing. And it's got Atmos on it. It's got Dolby Atmos on it, so that should be good. But I haven't ordered it yet. $27.99. Oh, I've still got time to order it. So unless somebody wants to buy it for me. I don't know. Just so kind of just like it's hard to get excited, isn't it, with this stuff anymore? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I've just got old. Maybe that's it. Maybe I've just got old. I don't know. But the Wish You Were Here 50th Deluxe box set is £220. Okay. It's £220. There was a 3LP version. See now, oops, press the wrong button there. I'm looking at Amazon for all my sins because I'm not really being fun. That's 75 quid for a triple album. It's like, what? Why do you want to do that? And like I said, then you got the Blu-ray, and then you got the regular 2 CD edition, and of course the box set, which frankly I think you'd have to be a bit stupid to want. But there you go. Just remember the previous one that came out the previous box set was only, I think at its cheapest was only 50 quid or something. And now, well, you're going to start paying. You're going to start paying, you know. You're going to start paying. Stray says, Darren, have you ever seen Steve Howe and Bruford playing roundabout on Regis? Yes, I have. It is really fucking sloppy. Though I remember seeing Steve Howe appear on, it was something like one of the, like I think it was like James Whale. When James Whale used to do a late night TV show on ITV, Steve Howe appeared on that. So it would have been the early 90s. And he was so bad. It was not, it was, you know, I don't know. It was just, he wasn't very good. He was very poor player. And again, that was the accusation kind of levelled at him around the time of ABWH and Union, was that Howe had no ideas. He'd forgotten how to play, you know. There was a lot of like kind of finger pointing, saying, you know, he kind of lost it. And when I saw him on James Whale, I thought, oh, that's odd, you know. But maybe just having a rough night. Maybe it's like everything else. But yeah, that is a thing. If you haven't seen it, Bruford and Howe on American breakfast television, I think that's what it was, doing their thing. It's a sight. It will make you laugh. It will make you cry. Zeb says, Stray, that performance was better than Chris Maguire, Alan and Benoit doing Owner of a Lonely Heart. Oh, I doubt it. Andrew says, I hope the vinyl doesn't leak. Who knows? Who knows? Stray says, let's watch both and compare. Go on, off you go. You go and watch it and come back to me, because we're not doing it on here. Because oh, did you hear? Talking to Pink Floyd, Roger Waters had a new song out. Though it's just a work in progress, he said at the beginning of it. It's just a work in progress. So there you go. That's good. As Eb says, anyone remember Steve Howe in 1996 when he was coming to kick ye in the head? No, I don't remember that. And Zeb also adds, I wonder if we'll ever get the 4-hour Son of Elias, aka Zamran, from John Anderson. I heard a 2-minute excerpt of it. Not bad. Well, he's been threatening it for the last 30 years, hasn't he? He says, if you're not behave yourself, if you are not good boys and girls, I will release Elias of Sonhillow 2. It's called the Zamram's Jim Jams, and it's really good. So you better behave yourself. I haven't done John Anderson for a long time now. Blew the dust off of him there and brought him out there, but I don't know. I don't know if I want a sequel. I quite like the original. The original is such a quaint, you know, experimental, you know, light, fluffy thing. You know, I have a lot of love for that record. And Zeb says, I want that Wish You Were Here ashtray. What about the fire extinguisher? What about the fire? There's even a candle. They brought out, oh God, I saw it the other day. Oh, wish you were here. Where was it? No, that ain't it. Here we go. I've got it. Here we go. Show it to you first, right? Here you go. Because you're going to love this. Look, here you go. You can get your Wish You Were Here candle. See, look. And the wick, look at that. The wick is on the side of the guy who catches fire. So he melts, whilst the other guy doesn't melt. And how much would you pay? How much would you pay? Oh God, it's the bot on there is actually speaking to me. There's a bot asking me how it can help me. But look, and it comes in a little box as well. How cool is that? And look, and that's the back of the box. So if you don't know what the artwork looks like, so how much would you pay for such a delightful product? How much? How much? No, not even close. For you, $135 US. There you go. A bargain. A candle that you will never use. Can you believe such things? Who would have thought it, eh? Clive's in. He says, "Hey there, hope all is well." I'm not Clive. Oh, Clive. Oh, I've not been feeling very well. But you haven't come here for that. You come here to see the silly bald man making a fool of himself. So here I am, once again. Alex says, "Evening. Have you heard the Hogarth Regional Orchestral 1976 Lad Broadcast 50th Anniversary album? Any good?" No, it's a bootleg, so I ain't buying it. I don't buy bootlegs. Come on. So, short answer, no. Because there's so many all the bootleggers have gone mainstream now. They're all producing vinyl and CDs, and you can buy them from places like Burning Shed and Amazon. And when I said to Burning Shed, "You know this is a bootleg?" They went, "No, it's official." It's like My Left Bollock here is official. You know, not that long ago, you would have been sent to jail for owning bootleg material. Now it's only offensive records that you can go to jail for. Yeah, I read about a guy who he got, how many months was it? 40 months, because he had some offensive music and sold offensive music. I mean, if you listen to some of mine, you probably take offence at that. Are they going to take me away? No, he's talking about like this kind of what do you call it? Hardcore punk, kind of that Swerve Driver stuff that we used to listen to back in the day. Do you remember? You remember that? No, you can't listen to that anymore. So I hear Nigel Farage, he's got a big collection. I'm allowed to make that joke? No, I'm not. But hey, the things we said when we were 13, my goodness, I can't even say. Well, I said one of the things to my daughter tonight. She just laughed. She thought it was funny. So there you go. So tells you what a terrible father I am. Zeb says the new Roger Waters song sounds identical to Southampton Dock. That's because he only knows 3 chords. Remember, he wasn't even the best bass player in Pink Floyd. That would be David Gilmour. Andrew says, "Yes, I want that candle for Christmas." Well, I'm sure if you're a good boy, Santa will deliver it to you. And Zeb also adds, "OMG." Stray says, "The last good Roger Waters song was Each Small Candle." I mean, that Is This Your Life You Really Want was quite good. It's just, I had to sell all my Roger Waters stuff because he's mad and quite nasty, but mainly mad and nasty. Was it mainly nasty and mad? But then, they're all idiots, aren't they? If you boil it down, they're all idiots. And then everyone became an ideologue, and that didn't really help anyone, did it? In the old days, it was John Lennon in bed saying, "I want world peace." I get behind that. I want world peace too. But now it's like, no, if you don't agree with us, we're going to kick you up. And I don't like that sentiment. John Lennon would never have said that. He wanted world peace. That's what I want. I'm an old hippie. I want what John wanted. So not what Roger wants. So yeah. But remember, he will never leave America now. He can't, because he's pledged his allegiance to certain organisations, certain orgs that are prescribed, and so I bet he can never go back. He can never enter America again. They'll probably hold him at the border because of the questions that they ask. Renee's in. Ye Robert says, "Wish you were here." Apparently, you can hold a candle to it. You're getting on my wick. Hey. And they're doing all the thing. Robert says, "Much of grime is offensive." Yeah, rap, grime, country and western, It's just, where does it end? Where does it end? Do you end up like... So, again, a friend of mine, well, he died this year. He used to buy everything in the second-hand record shop. If he went in the second-hand record shop and he saw a record that was just in any. It didn't matter what it was. He was buying like albums by Crass. I don't know if you. There was a punk band, and he'd find anything that kind of he saw, and he would have bought one of those. Right? I can imagine buying one of those just to see what it was like. But imagine if you had something like that in your record collection, and the flying squad, kick down your door, just. And it's a record you bought like 40 years previous or something, 30 years previous, and you forgot you got it. We live in a strange time. Of course, we shouldn't be promoting far right, ideology. But come on, a record. Is that how they do it now? Is that how they do it? Do it by records? I don't think so. You got the whole artistic expression. This is when we're on borrowed time, because you used to be able to express yourself artistically, and that means saying some things and doing some things that were offensive, because all art is meant to provoke. But now, I don't know. I don't know. We could all end up being offensive, couldn't we? That's the thing. It's that danger. It's that danger line that we veer into. But it's not the first time it's happened. It happened. Was it last year? But a family. It was a whole family of them. I think it was Hertfordshire got done. But I think one of them was an ex-member of Swerve Driver, and owned the label, and had been putting out records for something like 20 or 30 years. And the police have been trying to prosecute them for 10 years, and then the law just kind of fell in their favour, and that's the end of them. And you go, wow. There's lots of things I find offensive in this world, and I think people should be locked up for it. But thankfully, I don't run the world, because you'd all be in trouble. You'd all be in trouble, especially you, especially you at the back there. I've got your number. You're due a hard drive check, my friend. Oh yeah. Robert says, bands, it's just people playing music. Yeah, but it's because they say things, bad things. But I mean, just take Sex Pistols, Holidays in the Sun. They name check Belson. That could be offensive, couldn't it? So where does it end? Andrew says, what do you make of New Order? There was a program about one of their albums. Didn't have Blue Monday. How does it be? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I see a ship in the hurt harbor. As you do, there's a dog on a ball. There's some shapes, they're moving quickly. I don't know the words at all. What do I think of New Order? Well, again, there's a band. New Order came from Joy Division. Joy Division was named after just look it up. It ain't good. And New Order, it's all got right leaning. I mean, there was that time when Bowie turned, there's a fresh beverage come under that. Yeah, they called me out. I didn't hear you snuffle in there. You didn't shuffle. There was that time that Bowie did a salute at the station. Do you remember that? They all flirt with it. But what I think of New Order, they're all right. I like a few of their songs. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a devotee. I find their albums a bit. I like the best of New Order. If that's, I think it's remarkable that they came back from what happened with Joy Division. I think that's good. I think Blue Monday is a great piece of music. And again, if you look at how they put it together, and then there's the whole design of it. It didn't make a penny because the sleeve design was so, intricate and expensive that I think they actually made negative on every one that was sold. But yeah, I like Joy Division. Love Will Tear Us Apart is probably one of the greatest songs ever recorded, and of course the Frank Sidebottom version is the greatest cover version of all time. Love will tear us apart again. It really will. Frank Sidebottom. So yeah. Renee says, I've sold my Roger Waters stuff also. It was very cheap. I bought myself a bottle of Scotch single malt. I have one or two or three when I was listening to Ozzy Rip. Well, I didn't have that many Roger Waters records because I'd sold them previously, but I bought back Radio Cow. I bought it on vinyl because I saw a copy of it. And because it always reminds me of good times, because it was good times. It was good times. And I got that one. Is this the life you really want? Which I thought was a good album. I thought it was a really strong album actually. Like I said before, he went mad. But then Zeb says, please name your 3 favourite post-Fish Marillion albums. 3? I've only got 2. 3? I can only think of 2. And that's Marbles and Afraid of Sunlight. Maybe Season's End, purely because it was kind of interesting to see, the same way A Trick of the Tail was interesting to see, but there's not necessarily something that yeah, I'm going to go with those 3, and that's my final answer. Alex says, just found that Hogarth Ridge broadcast on YouTube. I think I'll watch that instead. Indeed, it's a bootleg. You can probably stream it, There's an awful lot of bootlegs out there, my friend, and it might look official, but it ain't. They do a very good look, and I mean, it was expensive. The vinyl wasn't it something like 45 quid or something? Let me have a look. The orchestral Hogarth Ridge. Hey, and away we go. Oh, I was wrong. 37.47. No, I was right. 50 quid. HMV want 50 of your earth pounds for it. Oops. Excuse me. Guys, look, guys, if everyone chips together in the live stream, right, and sends me money, I'll buy a copy. Eh? Come on, that's how all the big YouTubers do it. Come on. When was that out? 10th of October, apparently. I'd heard about it. There it is. And yeah, because there was an orchestral Tubular Bells. I think that was actually released by Virgin on CD, and there was meant to be an orchestral Hogarth Ridge, but I don't know if this is it. I'm not sure if this is the thing. I'd have to look. You know me. I pass through life ignoring everything. But if you want a copy, don't get it there. Get it from Amazon. I'm just getting the link, for it is 37.47. Orchestral Hogarth Ridge. And if you buy a copy from them, and there's only 4 copies left, mind, I will get a Magic Bezos credit groat. And if I collect enough of them, gee, I might be able to buy myself a record one day, probably in about 2 or 3 years' time, because oh god, nobody likes me anymore. It's so hard. It's so hard. Nobody likes you on YouTube. Nobody wants to watch your videos. I just realised the dog was in here, and I could have got dog cam, but I was talking to you and I forgot myself. Can't get the staff these days. Just can't get the staff these days. Just can't get the staff. If you haven't watched A Chair Company on whatever channel it's on the satellite, Sky, I don't know, streaming, HBO, Hulu, I don't know. Tim Robinson's the Chair Company. You must watch it. It's probably the greatest piece of television I've ever seen. It's just sublime. It's just, I can't express into words just what it is without spoiling. Well, I can't spoil it because I don't know what it's about. I don't really know what's going on, and that's the beauty of it. But do watch it. It finished this week. It was 8 episodes, and I'm a changed man. It changed me fundamentally. Zoe asks, what about Brave? Where'd you place that one? Brave's alright, but it's... Oh. See, I watched the movie. I watched Brave, the Brave movie. I tell you now, don't watch the Brave movie. They made a movie of the... It's not like Tommy with Ken Russell or Alan Parker's The Wall. No, it's Brave. It's Brave. I'm going to try and see if I can find. There's a bit, right? There's a bit. Of course, when you put Brave movie in, you get the Disney one, don't you? Yeah, Richard Stanley directed it. Now, Richard Stanley is an interesting guy. Richard Stanley directed some great films. Honest. He did, like The Island of Dr. Moreau, where he had a mental breakdown and walked off of it. Now, Richard Stanley did some great films like Hardware. That was his breakthrough. Go and watch it. Very good film. Dust Devil, amazing film. And lately, The Colour Out of Space with Nicolas Cage in, which is probably one of the best H.P. Lovecraft Cthulhu adaptations. But he also directed Brave, which is a 50-minute kind of extended pop video. But it ain't good. It ain't good. I'm trying to get some pictures. I'm trying to find the images. There's one image, and I bet I can't find it. La 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 la. No, I can't find it. Oh, come on. Do you ever get that thing with Google Images? I wonder if it's online. I wonder if someone's uploaded it. Wait a minute. Let me see if this... YouTube might have it. Wait there. Wait there. Yes, on Vimeo. Vimeo. I've got to mute it because there's one bit. Oh, I'm never going to find it. There's one bit. Is that the bit? Oh. Vimeo is really slow. Does anyone use Vimeo? Oh, there's just one freeze frame. I'm never going to find it. But it's the image. It's the image of Steve Hogarth bearing down on you, and I can't find it. I could do if I had the time, but trying to negotiate Vimeo's scrolly thingy is yeah, and he's bearing down on you. Oh, wait a minute. I think I found it. Wait a minute. Here we go. There we go. Did you see that then? Did you see that? It was just a very... It's going to come back in a minute. There he is. And that has warped my brain. And I can't listen to Brave. I can't listen to Brave because of Steve Hogarth bearing down at me like he's stumping me face to face. I don't know. I've got to live through the trauma of that. But seriously, if you've been affected by any of the topics raised by this is this a podcast? I don't know what this is. I don't know. Then fuck off and deal with them on your own. There you go. But yeah, Brave the album, it's all right. There's some bits in it I don't care for. Yeah, some bits I don't care for. But what's interesting, what I like over Brave over say Clutching at Straws, is it's written from the female perspective. You see, it's about a runaway girl, and again that's a theme that's oft used in the second period Hogarth period Marillion, whereas Fish is very misogynistic view of women, a bit like Roger Waters. It's always the woman's fault, the woman's dumped me, it was never my fault, that kind of thing. They try and take it from the female perspective, which I think is quite brave. See what I did there? Of them to try, and I think there's some bits in it that need to be just some bits of it. Paper Lies I think can be dropped. Hard as Love maybe, because there are some bits which just pull you out of the whole concept, so. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So I've also asked, did you check out Disney's Beatles Anthology or Anthology 4? Yes and yes. Did the first episode of Anthology, but because there's lots of things that we're watching at the moment, it's just trying to find the right time to slot it in, because there's a lot to watch. And Anthology 4, I listen to it all, and it's the Beatles, isn't it? Is it worth buying? Probably not. I streamed it. I enjoyed it. I got quite emotional. Here Comes the Sun, a song I normally can't stand. It's Mr. Blue Sky Jason, isn't it? In fact, Mr. Blue Sky is a poor man's attempt at doing Here Comes the Sun. ELO. Just no, kids. Just say no. If anyone says, look, I've got this ELO album, just push him away and say no. Swerve Driver instead. Alright? So I got a little bit emotional with Here Comes the Sun, because it sounded really open, and I was just on headphones on the dog walk, and what I liked is the immediacy of it all. You really felt like you were there with them in studio. It felt very close, and I think George Harrison's vocals, again he starts quite faltering, and then he gets about a third of the way into the song, and then his voice opens up, and it's like he finds his confidence. When he starts it, it's a bit, he's just very tentatively moving towards the song, and then it opens, and I got a bit emotional, and I don't normally like that song, so there you go. I think again it's familiarity more than anything else. Stray says Brave is a bit of a downer. Debbie Downer indeed, and Sarah says there's one good album of Marillion Monroe spread across those 3 late 90s albums. There are, again, don't get me wrong, I really like Afraid of Sunlight. I think that's I like it because they were forced to act really quickly. It was their last one for EMI. They went in and they acted under duress, and they got it done really, really quickly. And I like that. I like the immediacy of it. And also, back in 95 when it was released, it was kind of at the cusp of the celebrity culture. Yeah, we'd had celebrity culture before, but it opens with the John Lennon talking about things going all cosmic man, and then O.J. Simpson and everything, and you had this kind of the dark side of celebrity, which we touched on. It's been touched on before, but we have at that point, 95, there was this kind of like OK magazine, and there was a lot of celebrity news, and living and dying by celebrity was a thing, and they kind of hit the zeitgeist. I liked it because it was contemporaneous, and I really liked that record. I thought it was really good. Really, I remember rushing out. I was working at the time, blimey, when dinosaurs ruled the earth. I was working and I had to rush out in my lunch break, and they didn't have it at Virgin Megastore. So I had to go all the way down to Tower Records at Piccadilly to get a copy, which is unusual on release day. Couldn't find it. And maybe that was some EMI shenanigans. And then rushed back and listened to it. And thought it was very good. But yeah. Different times. Different times. Sty says, Vimeo, that takes me back. Indeed. Indeed. I remember once trying to upload some of my stuff from here. This was years ago. I was going to like do a companion Vimeo channel. It probably still exists out there somewhere. And I uploaded one of my reviews, and it said, you can't upload this because of a copyright complaint. I'm like, excuse me? What? It's just me talking about something. It wasn't even that bad. I think it might have been Fly From Here, the very first Yes one that I did. And I went, not here, sunshine. So that was it. I didn't even try. And I was like, what? Copyright material? Really? So yeah, that was my experience with Vimeo. I'm dying. Alex says, yeah, I did buy an Iron Maiden live bootleg years ago. It taken from the 96 and 98 tours, yellow vinyl, 2 minutes to midnight, fades out, and the version of The Klansman where Blaze forgets the words and hums. Nothing wrong with that. That's what makes it unique. That's why you buy the bootlegs. Zeb says, I'm thinking maybe getting Afraid of Sunlight box set, or maybe some of those H-Hero ones. Yeah, that's there. Just about there. Though they kind of changed the artwork and made it all psychedelic. I've been afraid of sunlight. Afraid of sunlight. So it sounds to me. There's all these copies of Oblique Strategies in the way. Oh, who put those there? Whoa, robot, stay there. As you can see, my copy is sealed. But how? How can it be? Because, I sold a copy, I kept a copy. You know how you do. And yeah, they changed the sleeve to that. The sleeve weren't that. The sleeve had a boy on the front with like angel wings. It was very arty. Bill Smith Studios. But they dumped it for that, which was like wasn't that like the inner sleeve? I think that was like the inner sleeve or the back sleeve or something. Day Glow Jesus on the dash. Okay. So yeah. How can you feel afraid of sunlight? Sunlight. Afraid of sunlight. That's it. Everyone's gone away now. All right, we can finish. Any more for any more? Excuse me. For those who are wondering, I'm recovering from a cold. The whole family's had the lurgy. Wasn't too bad, but I'm just feeling a little bit like that. Maybe a bit like this. I can't decide. Any more for any more. Otherwise, I'm just gonna moan about YouTube. As if says, what one did you feel was best in terms of extras? The first one, I think, because the interview was really good and detailed. because I like the interviews. That couldn't care much for the music, but I quite like them talking about it. But the first one was good because it goes back to the early days of Marillion, before they were Marillion, you know. And they bring back some of the old folk in that, and it's quite detailed. I thought it's quite good. So yeah, the first one, which is called, I don't know, something to do with the Jester's Playground. I can't remember. It's, you know, it's got a jester on it. There's always jesters, isn't there? You know, jesters. But no, that was a good one. Fugazi is good because there's a show. There's a live show on it, which the cocaine really kicked in. You know, and they get faster and faster and faster. And it's one of Ian Mosley's early gigs, and he doesn't care. He's just going as fast. And it's the band at their fastest. It was meant to be like an hour and a half gig. It finished in 45 minutes. It was like that. That's how fast it was. I like that one. That was good. Any more? It always goes quiet. So you have a good start, and then everyone falls asleep because it's getting a bit late for them, and they've got to get up to sign on the dole in the morning. So, you know, they get a bit tired. It's a bit busy for them on Wednesday. A bit busy. No, okay. Anyone? Oh dear. No? Okay. I made a video about this, so I'm going to talk about it anyway. I went viral a little bit last week, and it wasn't the cold I had. I had a video blow up, but it only lasted for 48 hours, and it just shows you that YouTube are just manipulating the figures. I've got to find it now. I've got to find the figures, because you can see YouTube censored you. Oh dear, so don't get censored. You don't want to get censored. You've got to be very careful on what you get censored by. I need 7 days. I need 28 days. Andrew's off. He can't stay up. He can't stay up. He's out of here. Blimey. I remember when Andrew used to stay up till half midnight. Now he flounces off at 24 minutes past 11. What happened, Andrew? What happened? Did you mentioned before you go, Andrew? You mentioned something about a Hendrix box set last week. Did you send that out? Did you send me that, or what? What was that all about? Because I haven't received anything. Were you pulling my plonker? Because you might want to get in touch with your supplier, mate. Because you know. But anyway, just send a check next time. Just send the money in the post. You know, it's a lot easier. So anyway, last week, Renee's saying good night. Zeb says, I'm going to have to check out Hardware and Dust Devil. Thanks for the recommendations. Yeah, Hardware, again, they're sci-fi. Again, it's been a long time since I've seen Hardware, because it was one of those films of the 90s that was... it's very low budget, but very effective. And it's kind of been... I mean, crikey. I think even Black Mirror kind of ripped it off in a few seasons ago. But I don't want to spoil it for you. And Dust Devil, yeah, it's a good one. It's a bit weird. It's a good one. I don't want to spoil it, because I think these things you need to go to. Richard Stanley's an interesting director, but he's a complex man, and Marlon Brando was kind of sent him over the edge. You know, a bit of a breakdown with Val Kilmer. Andrew says, oh my god, I did send it off ages ago. Well, I haven't received anything. Now that I know that you're not joshing, nothing, my friend, not a sausage. So you might need to chase it up. There's not a lot I can do. I've not had any letters, nothing at the door. I have a door cam bell thing, so I know if there's a postman. I've checked it. After you mentioned it, I had a look at. I had a little shifty, nothing. So yeah, you might need to. I don't know if you've got tracking on that. You might want to have a look at it. If it's been delivered. Now I had a Switch game, a Nintendo Switch game, get delivered to a completely wrong address, and it took was it months, 6 weeks for the people to finally realise that it wasn't theirs. And the guy was very nice. He brought it to me. He figured out whose it was. And he brought it to me, but I didn't know where it had gone. I had no idea. So, like I say, sometimes the postage around here can be a little bit flaky, so you might need to get on tracking about that. So I've asked, are yes officials still following you on Instagram? Don't know why. All they're seeing is me posting pictures of Christmas decorations at the moment. So yeah, last week I had a video go very, very viral. Look here. Can you see? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look. And then they said, and then they turned it off. Look. How does it go from that to that in like 3 days? It's like, nope. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful? You got to laugh at YouTube. You got to laugh at them. They it's a shame because 7 days you don't really get the you don't really get the joy of it. You just see it kind of peter out as they turn it off. Look, you go from 1 day you get 1,000 views to 1. Seriously, you're telling me that people just go, nope, not watching that anymore? Arseholes, I hate you. Why do you do this? This isn't the first time this happened to me. It's happened to my son quite a few times, and they shadow ban. They shadow ban. You will never see my stuff, and when it does inadvertently stumble into daylight and gets viewed, no. That's why doing this is a folly. An absolute folly, and you can see why I don't really care much for it. So don't think I do, because I don't. It's all a bit of a it's all a bit of a folly, isn't it? Andrew says yes, it's tracking first class as well. Okay, well check the tracking and maybe put a call in, because it's not come my way. And I don't know what else to suggest really. So you have to try and get your money back or something, because then that'll be fun. I've never had any success on that. It reminds me of that time when I DHL I was sending oh god, it was a drum stand, a stand for a drum stand, custom Roland drum stand. It was expensive, and I wrapped it all in bubble wrap and I put it in a box. Yeah, and when it got to the guy, there was a hole in the end of the box, and it had obviously been pulled out. Yeah, now the box was solid. The guy very kindly sent me the photos. I put a claim in, and DHL said, "We obviously didn't pack it correctly, did you?" It was wrapped in bubble wrap inside a cardboard box, which was all sealed up. That cost me 130 quid, because then I had to, I then purchased a new one and sent it to the guy, because that's the kind of guy I am, Oh, and here you go. It's like, so trying to claim back money from the Royal Mail, and I've had it with the Royal Mail as well, when things have gone missing or got smushed. And they go, well, we've investigated and we think we're right and you're not. And that's it. So, dear, be cheaper and easier for you to actually hand deliver some of this. I'm not saying you, Andrew. I'm not saying you. Don't get any ideas into your head. But but yeah, check the tracking. There might be a picture. If there's a picture, because sometimes I take a picture of where they've left it. Send me the picture via, I guess, Facebook would probably be the best place, and maybe I can find it. Zeb says, have I ever received broken LPs in the mail? No. Some ones that have been crumpled, you know. That time when Amazon delivered was it the second Bowie? Was it second or third? Third Bowie box set in just its cellophane without any protective box, and it had a dented corner. Those were the days. But no, I've not had anything actually smashed or broken. I've been pretty lucky in that respect. No. So no, sorry. Been, like I said, lucky. It's more things just going missing. It's more things being misdelivered. Again, for a while we had, well, they're called Every now, but when Every weren't Every, we had a guy that actually said to me, I have trouble with numbers. He was number dyslexic. And I'd get somebody else's, because he'd swap the numbers around, and he'd take mine to them. He doesn't do it anymore. We got Paul. Paul now is our everyman, and he can read numbers. Imagine having a job where you're the main requisite is to be able to read numbers. You know, you think, God, I'm just so glad he's not a pharmacist, you know. But yeah, I couldn't believe it when he said, well, I have trouble with numbers. It's like, you shouldn't admit that one, son. You shouldn't admit it. Zeb asks, am I waiting for any good music coming out? No, not particularly. The best album's already been out, and I still keep meaning to do a review of it, but I just can't be bothered, because what's the point? No one's going to see the video, you know, because YouTube says, nah, we're gonna give all the views to the guy going, I've got to do the face in the thumbnail. I've got to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I'm this guy, unfortunately. So, I don't know. They're threatening a new Peter Gabriel album. But, you know, seeing as Peter Gabriel's written the lyrics for this pro-Palestinian song that's coming out, you know, with Brian Eno behind it, I'm kind of a bit loath to give him my money now. I thought Gabriel's a sensible man. He'd call for world peace. He'd want everyone to get along. And then I found out, no, he's pro-Palestinian and using words like genocide as well. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, dear. Not again. Not another one. I don't think he wrote the message, though. I think that's come from one of his ideologically driven people. But, so yeah, you've got OI coming out. Apparently next year. He'll dribble that out to us again on Bandcamp. But no, I'm just waiting the sweet release of Death, really. But I don't think you can get that on vinyl. Or even CD. Or Dolby Atmos. But imagine if there was a Dolby Atmos mix, Steve Wilson would be behind it. So, yeah. But no, I found an album that came out this year, which I think is really good. I really enjoyed it. But whether or not anyone else would enjoy it is another matter. So maybe I'll put my big boy pants on tomorrow and I'll do it. I'll sit down and I try and talk about this album that came out earlier. This is last month. It came out last month. But there's no physical release. It's only digital only at the moment. So, you know, yeah. John asks, any recent updates on if we'll get a new Doctor Who? Yeah, next Christmas. That's your update. Next Christmas, Russell T Davies at the helm. It's going to be great. Don't forget, you've got the battle between land and sea on Sunday, where the Sea Devils are now the Aqua Homos or something. Sounds a bit gay. And Russell Tovey is going to be... I'm calling it here now. Russell Tovey is going to have to fertilise some eggs manually in order to bring about peace between man and Sea Devil. I'm calling it. That's going to be the plot point. He's going to create human Sea Devil hybrids, and that's how he's going to save the world. So yeah, he is going to be manually spraying baby gravy over deviled eggs, and that is the plot point. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm calling it. I've been calling it for a long time. Zeb said it can't be worse than IO. It's awful. It is bad. IO is awful. It makes Up seem focused. I mean, I quite like Up now. Up, I thought, was a bit poor compared to Us, and now I think Up is like Dark Side of the fucking Moon compared to IO. You know, stuff coming in, stuff coming out. Oh, Pete, you were on fire when you wrote that lyric, son. Jesus Christ. Daniel Lanoir's available. Just give him a call. He'll come over. He'll knock those lyrics into shape. You know, musically it was all right. It's the words I had problems with. The words were just, you know. I think he got his children to write them, and I mean his younger children when they were children. Seb says Gabriel should release Flotsam and Jetsam on CDs or vinyl. It'll be a 12 vinyl disc set, which costs £500. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting... I mean, a lot of the stuff on that I've heard, because I bought the CD singles and the B-sides, so... But it was nice to have it all in one long playlist. I bought that on iTunes when it came out. It was good to have a nice clean copy of, you know, Strawberry Fields Forever, you know, the one he did for All This and World War II. Great soundtrack. Very interesting soundtrack, by the way. I do recommend you check that one out. I think it's interesting. Some of you might not find it interesting. But yeah, it's an interesting mix of like B-sides and some alternate mixes of things. So do check that one out. John asks, will it take a decade for PG to finish it? I don't know. Maybe it's all done now. I don't know. This is the problem. Years ago, I'd have been enthusiastic about it, you know. But I think, again, as time's gone on, you know, the longer the wait between records, you go, okay, all right. And then when IO came out, and because the way he released it, I'm part of his Bandcamp membership, so it was like a track a month. And then I stopped listening because I thought, oh God, this is not working for me. I like to listen to an album in its entirety. And then I did listen to all of it in its entirety when it did come out. And I was just underwhelmed. I just thought it was just a bit amateur. I thought, you know, some of the, mainly the words, it's the word side, and also with the production and just the way he put it together. It lacked the spark of something like Darkness or even Growing Up, you know. It had some real funk to it. You know, it was all pretty staid and quite dull, really. And the funny thing is the last track he does on it, there's a early demo of it, which is better lyrics, more fun, you know. But you know, it is what it is. Everybody loved it except me. That's because I'm weird and I just do it to annoy everyone. You know the routine. No, I'm the biggest fan. That's how I can say these things, you know. But you never know. It might be good, you know. It might be amazing. It might be the best thing ever. I don't know. It might make it, or it might be so bad. OI might be so bad. It might makes OI OI might be so bad it makes IO look like so, or something like that. It's that law of diminishing returns where every album makes the previous album look wonderful. We could be in that phase, that death spiral, of everything just getting, you go, well, at least it's not as bad as that, that one's better than that, we could be at that point. Zeb said, did I watch Fallout Season 1? Yes, I did. It was very good. And Season 2 is coming later this month. And we are all pretty psyched to watch it. In fact, it got Verity into the Fallout 4 game. She played that last summer. She hasn't completed it, but she just used it as an outlet valve after doing her GCSEs. And she so liked the show that I said, you got to play the game now. So she played the game. Alex says, I had a delivery guy once who didn't realise the houses went up to 2s and odds. Yeah, I've had that on one side and he was on the other. He was banging on 24 for about 25. I'm opposite at 23. Yeah. I've had people go, how comes these numbers are on that side and these numbers are on that side? And I go, because that's how it is. Well, how can you explain it to them? I've had it too, but then some of these people aren't from around these parts. And obviously they have numbering conventions where they come from more linear, whereas we have the odds and evens system over here. I don't know if you have that in America or wherever you are, but on one side of the street, odd numbers, one side of the street, even numbers. And so it goes like that. And you have to arrange your, your mail round accordingly. And they'd arranged it numerically. So 1 ain't next to 2. It's never happening. And in these blocks of flats, right, we're number, whatever number, don't want to dox myself, but the people downstairs are 10 more than our number. Yeah. And the people on that side, over there, down that way, are 10 more than the people next door to them on the far side. That is a mindfuck, that is. John asks, if I want a toxic progger, there's Roger Waters. I don't need Peter. Peter's, yeah, I don't know. You got Eno, you got Waters, now you got Gabriel. It's a shame. Everyone's doing it. But you got to ask yourself this, right? Imagine that somehow peace happens in the Middle East, right? And Muslim and Jew living in blissful harmony with each other. What will the likes of Roger Waters, Brian Eno and Peter Gabriel do with themselves? Well, I'll tell you what they ain't doing. They're not looking at Africa and what's going on there. With Christians being rounded up by militant Islamicists and being slaughtered. What's going on in parts of Africa. Terrifying. True genocides, True genocides, but we don't talk about that because it's the wrong kind of person doing the shooty. We like it when it's those other lot, the ones with all the money, who's controlling everything, with big noses, those guys. Everyone's got to believe that the world is shit because someone's controlling it. No, the world's just shit. The world's just shit. I'm hoping that asteroid is an alien spaceship because that would really put the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't it? Zeb says, you should try Fallout 3. I have done. And New Vegas better than Fallout 4. Look, I'm not going to get my daughter playing old games. Fallout 4 is kind of there is a version for the Xbox, isn't there? But yeah, I've played those two as well. But I quite like Fallout 4. I've got a lot of time for it. I think it's good fun. Zeb says, I've always wondered where the front door is on your house. Can you point me in the direction? Well, we've only got one entrance and exit, so it's that direction over there somewhere. And like I say, you better be able to run fast because I've got a border collie that can outrun all of you. Ay, ay, ay. Any more for any more? Any more for any more? No? Because we can wind up now if you want. Unless there's anything else that's on your mind that you would like to talk about. Maybe you want to talk about Christmas. Maybe there's something in the news. Maybe a musician has died that you've enjoyed. Andrew didn't really hit us with his dead musician roundup like he normally does. He's losing his touch, isn't he? Somewhat. Any more for any more? No? Okay then. I shall wind it up now then. What do you reckon? Oh, I didn't realise you had a pop-out dashboard now. Oh, that's interesting. Will I repost Father Xmas? You mean Father Progmus? I do believe he's still out there somewhere. I don't think I might. Have I privated him? I don't know what I do. I don't know what I get up to half the time. I really don't. Let me have a look. Progmus. There you go. This is from 3 years ago now. 3 years ago. We've never. There you go. Father Progmus. It's still there. There you go. It had 529 views. It took me a month to put that together. A month. And it was worth it. Each one of those views was ardent. 529 views. Seriously? That's ridiculous. The actual song, like the audio version, did better. Is that the same one? Wait a minute. Did I repost it? I did repost it and I got another 500 views the following year. Well, there you go. So you can have that one as well. You can go to both. I reposted it in 2023 and got 553 views. So there you go. That's how you know. That's how you know that YouTube are just fucking with me. You know. This is why I don't do anything, because it's just not worth my while. You know, the harder I work on stuff, the fewer views it gets. I'm better off just uploading some old shite that nobody cares about, and that's it. Or just doing this. You know, at least this. I like low effort, because I'm not going to be disappointed by the tiny amount of views it gets. Whereas, you know, with Father Progmus, I had to re-record the song. And that was all done, you know, so that was done first, obviously. You know, then there was the video of it all. And I don't have a lot of space. I have to set up a green screen. There's not a lot of space. And I have to get into the costumes and film me bits, you know, and then hopefully I've done all the bits. Because if not, I have to set it all up again and do some more bits. I think they're called pickups in the trade. And then I have to edit it all together. And that takes time, you know, and I can't be bothered. That's because I'm 54. I'll be 55 next February. So, you know, and that's the problem. It's all right if you're young and you're enthusiastic, but I know what the game is, and the game isn't much fun anymore. So, you know, so that's that. So, but enjoy the video. It was never taken down. It was left there to be discovered by no one, you know. So there you go. Alex says, just a notification saying, get the new Gorillaz art book. Collect all 3 covers, buy one, get one free. I've never listened to the Gorillaz in my life. Well, ain't you lucky? Well, you better collect their books then, hadn't you? You better collect their books. John, well, my daughter would be happy. She's a fan of the Gorillaz. I'll have to tell her. There's 3 art books, are there? Okay. John says, someone will eat the sea devil eggs and cause a war. Doctors have to stop the war to save the universe. No doctor in it, I'm afraid, apparently. And that's the problem. There's a doctor on Earth, but he ain't doing anything. Sitting on his arse, drinking tea in Donna's back garden. I mean, It's just so badly written. It's so badly written, you know. I really do not care if they take it off air and I never see it again. It is so badly written. Ay. And Renee says, Beringer have some nice crazy bargains again. Watch Anderton's. Oh, Anderton's. Well, Black Friday, isn't it? Ooh, Black Friday. Did you get anything? I got something in Black Friday. I got The Who live at the BBC vinyl for £11 with postage, another £16. Now, considering in the old days it used to be 18 quid on Amazon, and that would have been, I have Amazon Prime, so that would have been 18 quid. I think that's a bargain. Now it's like 35 quid. So I got a bargain. Hooray! Hooray! Beringer. Epic deals. I've got to find the epic deals page. So I'm looking at Anderton's on the request of I can't seem to find the epic deals page. Exclusive deals. And you say Beringer. Beringer. Oh yeah, 94. Blimey. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Beringer. I haven't bought any Beringer stuff in yonks. Got some pedals. Yeah, that's good. Got some headphones. £10 for headphones, that's good. You've got a blue thing. You've got a red thing. You've got a mono thing. A green one. You can get all the colours, can't you? Okay. Euro rack. Wow, that's quite cheap for Euro rack modules, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. And there's a thing, and there's some more headphones, and there's stuff, and I had one of those C1U microphones. It was pretty good. Yeah, I only replaced it with the Rode one because it had the arm and everything. But I think that wasn't a bad microphone back in the day. I think I got it for like 35 quid. Yeah, there's some stuff there. If you're in the market for stuff, there's some stuff. Look, there's lots of stuff. Microphones, more microphones. Oh, there's the DeepMind desktop. That's a B stock, that is. I used to have all this. I used to have Behringer stuff when I was, back 20 years ago. It was good. Before Behringer was like hip to hate. I had a load of Behringer outboard stuff, mixers and whatnot. Very good. Very, very good. And John says, if Disney had spent their money to bring Karen Gillan instead of Billy, Doctor Who would have been in better shape. It had nothing to do with Disney. Disney gave the BBC the money, but where did the money go? You're looking at supposedly, oh God, how much money was it supposed to be? £3.5 million per episode? No. Chibnall was working with less, and he made it look a lot more expensive and had a lot more ideas. You know, I don't know what they were thinking. It was just the worst. It was the worst. But it always was the worst, wasn't it? You know, it's just, you just go, what the why are you doing it, man? Why would you do it? I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, I've got to take the dog for a walk, so I'm going to bow out now before it turns midnight and I turn into a pumpkin. I'm gonna bow out now, if that's all right with you guys. Hopefully you've had some fun. If you haven't, I don't know, not a lot I can do, is there? But even if you don't like it, I'm sure you'll be back for more next week, because, you know. Oh dear, to be a masochist, eh? And we'll do this all again soon. Remember, folks, if you can't be good, be careful. But more importantly, I'm going to try and be well, that's right. But more importantly, don't tell your mother. No.